please, for the love of God, if you're not famous already, do not write a memoir. All right, I'm exaggerating a little bit. If you really want to write a memoir, you can. Plenty of people have lots of success with the genre of memoir, even those who are not famous. But before you get started, I need you to understand one really essential piece of information. Memoir is really hard to sell. Now, obviously, if you are an A-list or a B-list celebrity, everybody's going to want to read your memoir just because you are who you are. If you're Denzel Washington, everybody's interested in your life because they know you, they've watched your movies, they are interested in you as a person. So off the strength of your persona and the work that you've done and what everybody knows you for, they're going to pick up your memoir. For the rest of us, myself included, memoir might be the wrong choice. Now, you might have a jaw-dropping, tear-jerking, gut-wrenching story. You might have a story that's going to make everybody stop in your tracks and say, wow. But as wonderful as your story is, as meaningful as your story is, it's simply not enough to sell books. Lots of people have lots of amazing stories, and the story by itself is not going to get people's attention on you because so many other people have stories like that. And lots of people have told those stories in memoir form. So your memoir by Joe Schmo is not really going to stand out in the crowd. There's an exception to this rule. It's a memoir that touches on a hot button issue that's just so timeless and so relevant and touches people in such a way that the story and the message that story communicates are what drives the memoir into readers' hands because they're looking for something like that. That is really hard to pull off, not guaranteed. If you're not famous, I'm going to advise you not to write a memoir. But that doesn't mean that you can't write a book that tells your story. Let me tell you what I mean. Instead of memoir, try this. Try writing a book that teaches a skill or a concept or something that somebody might be looking for, something that a lot of people might be looking for, and uses your story to illustrate the points that you're making. So imagine this. Joe Schmo has battled with, let's say, addiction for all of his life. He's been addicted to narcotic and alcohol since he was 13. And just the story of his journey from addiction to rock bottom to recovery to full health is an incredible story and a powerful story and a story that anybody would be engaged by. That story by itself isn't going to draw readers in because nobody knows who Joe Schmo is. But let's say there is somebody who's walking through the aisles of a bookstore and they want to kick a cigarette habit. They've been smoking for a decade and they really want to kick it, but they just can't stop the bad habit. And they are looking for a book on how to break bad habits. Now, imagine they pick up a book that's called Breaking Addictive Habits 101, the 4 pillars that will get you free from addiction, written by Joe Schmo. And Joe Schmo, in that book, he teaches people how to get free from addiction using the principles and the insights that he used to get free himself. And guess what? In that book, he tells his story. Every chapter is full of those moments of his life that are just amazing to read and encouraging and tear-jerking. Now, I just got done reading a really great book that kind of illustrates this concept that I'm talking about. It is by Kevin and Melissa Fredericks, and the title is Marriage Be Hard, 12 Conversations to Keep You Laughing, Loving, and Learning with Your Partner. Now, those of you who are fans of comedy might know Kevin Fredericks as Kev on Stage, and I've been a fan of him and his wife Melissa for a long time. And if either of them wrote a memoir or if they wrote a memoir together, I might have picked it up just because I know who they are and I enjoy their content. But when I saw that title that I just read to you, as a married man with some kids and who wants to keep his marriage healthy and long lasting, I was drawn right to that title. I picked it right up because it met a felt need of mine. I want to keep my marriage healthy. And in that book, Kev and Melissa told so many stories from their life. Funny stories, sad stories, engaging stories. It was like all of the narrative content that you would want from a memoir, but in the form that was teaching me something. It was meeting a felt need of mine. Now, you can write a memoir if you really want to, but my advice is to write a book like Kevin Melissa's. or write a book like Joe Schmo's. Write a book that meets a reader's felt need and through it tells your story. My name is Pierce Van Dunk and I run an editing company called Van Dunk Edits. Check us out at vandunkedits.com. Book a free consultation. We can help you with anything that you are writing.